Good evening, I'm Emma Jane Vea and this is Television Tonga News. In the headlines, Tonga marks World Diabetes Day and highlights obesity and lack of exercise as the main cause of diabetes in the kingdom. The US military and His Majesty's Armed Forces get together for annual military talks. And Sophie's Smile Kindergarten continues to support education for its young students. These and more stories, including news from the Pacific, sports, world and the weather information later on in this bulletin. Let's take a look at the news in detail. Obesity and lack of exercise are the major causes of diabetes. That's according to the non-communicable disease physician in Tonga during a Walk for Health program to mark World Diabetes Day today, November 14th. Tonga and other members of the International Diabetes Federation, or IDF, are hosting various events to mark the day. Fatai Whainga'a was at the Walk for Health program this morning and filed this report.
This is the third year Tonga has commemorated World Diabetes Day with this year's theme, Unite to Fight Against Diabetes. This morning's program is a part of the program set up or put in place to mark World Diabetes Day today in Tonga in a long week program which started with their prayer service and this morning including the exercise together with other programs to be conducted later on. The Ministry of Health and its Diabetes Unit, various stakeholders including members of His Majesty's Armed Forces and some members of the public have joined the commemoration event of the World Diabetes Day. The Ministry of Health's Diabetes Unit dedicates a whole week to mark the day because of the wide-scale prevalence of diabetes in the kingdom. A physician on the Health Ministry's Non-Communicable Disease Committee, Dr. Daniela Palo, told Television Tonga News that 75% of unexpected deaths reported in Tonga are due to non-communicable diseases. Anyone that is obese is vulnerable to diabetes. Another factor is the lack of exercise. Surveys held in 2011 and 2012 shows an increase in obesity compared to a previous survey conducted in 2004. Lord Vehala from His Majesty's Armed Forces also took part in this morning's Walk for Health. The public should be informed and aware of the importance of healthy eating habits and lifestyle. Others who took part in the World Diabetes Day's Walk for Health were glad to support the trial. This program is very important to our health because if we do daily exercises, it will help us feel and be active all day. I have diabetes and I'm glad to support this drive initiated by government to encourage a healthier lifestyle among its people. I believe that healthy eating habits should start at a young age. I'm a teacher at Tonga High School and I see children consuming junk food every day. I've asked them why they don't buy vegetables or something healthier to eat and they tell me it's too expensive at the market. This year's program includes a Thanksgiving prayer at the Constitutional Church of Tonga and an annual general meeting of the Diabetes Committee held this afternoon at the Basilica Conference Room, among other programs. For Television Tonga News, I'm Fatai Whainga'a.
A Tongan man has been released on bail in Fiji after he was arrested for allegedly trying to bribe a customs officer and being found in possession of arms and ammunition at Nandi International Airport. Sonny David Bernard Blake appeared in the Nandi Magistrates Court yesterday. Magistrate Benny Dalituithama has deferred Blake's plea, which is expected to be taken in his next court appearance, December 2nd. Kalisto Yonuku has more on that story.
Fiji court ordered Sonny David Bernard Blake to surrender his travel documents and a stop departure order has been placed on him. He has been released on a bail bond of 2,500 Fijian dollars. Blake will be representing himself and he has been told that he will not be able to return to the United States until the case is completed. The 29-year-old allegedly tried to bribe a custom officer by offering him a $40 not to search his luggage at Nandi International Airport on Tuesday. Blake then tried to run away but was caught trying to leave in a taxi. In his possession, he had 2 Colt automatic caliber guns, a pistol, a shotgun, 5,000 plastic ammunition, and 6,000 zinc-plated ammunition. According to Fiji Broadcasting Corporation, they also found one blank pornographic DVD cover and 6 1.75-litre bottles of imported liquor. Blake was travelling from Los Angeles on his way to Tonga. The custom officer had asked the passenger to check his baggage after an X-ray machine revealed that he had 6 liquor bottles in his possession. It comes after Blake was in a green lane of the custom, which meant he had nothing to declare. Blake was abusive and forced his way out, but with the help of the border police, he was brought back to the baggage hall.
The United States military continues to strengthen its ties with His Majesty's Armed Forces through an annual military talk. This was held at His Majesty's Armed Forces headquarters in Nuku'alofa this morning. The discussions covered issues from capacity building to training and other military assistance from the US military to its Tongan counterpart. Sinilatu tells you more.
Tonga's Chief of the Defence Staff, Brigadier General Tauaikau Ta'atu, and officials from His Majesty's Armed Forces gathered for defense talks with its American counterpart. Military talks unfolded between a team from the United States military and His Majesty's Armed Forces. The American team is led by Commander Scott Sherrard and includes other personnel and officials from the U.S. Embassy in Suva, Fiji. The talks looked at assistance that the United States military can provide to Tonga. Commander Sherrard says its military relationship with Tonga is one that they recognize and value. He adds that the Tonga and American soldiers can learn from each other and use a project in Daegu as an example.
Is one of the projects being conducted by the U.S. Seabees here now in Daegu, the disaster relief shelter and town hall project that's going on, and it's an excellent example of collaboration. His Majesty's Forces Engineering Corps is out there working side by side with the U.S. Navy Seabees, and will continue to do so until the project's finished. And speaking here during the talks and also with the Seabees, it's been a really great effort in terms of sharing knowledge on engineering skills and how to face different challenges in this part of the world in terms of engineering. So,
also taking part in the military talks was Lieutenant Commander Brisbane Lokotui. He says America's Pacific Air Force has a new program called Pacific Angels that will include Tonga.
Pacific Angels.
The Pacific Angels program is coordinated by the Pacific Air Force. The program focuses on providing medical assistance, and they can also provide technical assistance if needed. A team is in Tonga to plan the program. Part of that team is in Vava'u to look at areas they can provide assistance to. They'll come next year in their own military aircraft, and from there, they'll ship the resources to Vava'u. His Majesty's Armed Forces and U.S. military has been strengthening its military ties since World War II. For Television Tonga News, I'm Sinilatu.
The Viola Hospital's fundraising committee collected more than 70,000 ba'anga during several fundraising drives held this year for Hospital Week. Here's Fatai Whainga'a with that report.
Although Hospital Week ended last week, donations are still being made to the Viola Hospital Fundraise Committee. The committee received a cheque of 20,000 pa'anga from the Free Wesleyan Church of Tonga yesterday. The donation was presented by the church's Treasury Secretary, Reverend David Tahaukinima. Half of the donation was made from the Queen Mother, Halaival Mata'aho, and the Women's Division of Free Wesleyan Church, and the other half was collected by the church members. The donation was happily received by the chairman of the fundraising committee, Lord Vehala. I wish to thank the president of the Free Wesleyan Church, members of the clergy, and everyone who took part in raising funds to help the hospital. The generous assistance will help meet the needs of the patients and upgrade the hospital equipment. For Television Tonga News, I'm Fatai Whainga'a.
The Deputy Police Commissioner Soakai Mutuapuaka retires from service with the Tonga Police today, November 14th. 60-year-old Soakai Mutuapuaka from Te Ekiu has completed 35 years of service. After serving in the United States Armed Forces, he was recruited as a corporal with the Tonga Police on the 14th of August in 1978. In a telephone interview, Mutuapuaka told Radio Tonga News he has spent half of his life serving his country and has fulfilled all his duties to the kingdom. He now looks forward to spending more time with his family and other community engagements upon retirement. Soakai Mutuapuaka is married to Sopesio of Maufanga. They have 8 children and 6 grandchildren. This afternoon, the Tonga Police also performed a march parade at the Longolongo Police Station to mark the Deputy Police Commissioner's completion of duty. The Foreign Fisheries Agency, or FFA, is hoping Tonga will sign the Niue Treaty Subsidiary Agreement. This agreement secures cooperation to protect Pacific waters from illegal fishing. Here's Linda Filiai with the details.
These are representatives from the Ministry of Fisheries, His Majesty's Armed Forces, among others who participated in the consultation meeting for Niue Treaty Subsidiary Agreement. According to the legal advisor for the Foreign Fisheries Agency, or FFA, Dr. Philemon Manoni, he highlighted the importance of the treaty subsidiary agreement and deepened the efforts of the member parties to the new treaty.
It is concerning stocks are declining, 4 main tuna species. I think trends are not very good, and that is why the leaders have decided that we to take proactive steps. Hopefully, through this new mechanism that promotes cooperation amongst the members, that we will be able to do a much better job in protecting our fisheries.
He adds that this will better enforce the fisheries law. Furthermore, Dr. Manoni says the new agreement encourages sharing of resources and combating illegal fishing in Pacific waters. This also comes in force to address the concern of the declining tuna stock.
As the academic school year comes to an end, a kindergarten at Nuale called Sophie's Smile holds a prize-giving ceremony to award its young graduates. Sinilatu has more on that story.
Teaching children the Christian faith, to take pride in their Tongan heritage, and the importance of education is the aim of Sophie's Smile Kindergarten. Here are some of the graduating students of the kindergarten as they recite the school motto in Tongan. A kindergarten teacher, Sophia Whakawā, says the students are taught in Tongan. At the beginning of this year, more than 30 students attended this school. In today's graduation ceremony, there are only 11 students left. 9 students will be attending primary school next year, and 2 students remain at kindergarten. Although we only have a small number in our kindergarten, we are trying to hold different activities to mark the end of the year event and encourage parents to be supportive of their children's education in order to have a better future. Here are some of the students as they celebrated the end of the year program.
My name is Merfatene. First of I live at Praha and Macau. Ko Amoni, ko Novo Colonga, ko Sofia, ko Tony Mine, Tamasi Yao. My name is Charlotte Seopahui. Chica is Sofia Fakava.
A certificate was also presented to the young students by the district officer at Vaini District. Sophie's Smile Kindergarten was established in 2008 and it is privately owned, operated under various assistance from the students' parents. For Television Tonga News, I'm Sinilatu.
Diamond Langi of Tonga has been crowned Face of Beauty International 2013 during the third edition of the beauty contest held in Bangkok, Thailand, November 12th. Diamond Langi hails from the village of Vaini here in Tonga and is in the Philippines will be in the Philippines to compete once again as Miss Earth Tonga 2013. According to the Garniva Tonga website, ahead of the Face of Beauty contest at the Colosseum Theatre on Tuesday, 38 contestants from all over the world took part in all the major tourist attractions in and around the seaside city of Pattaya in order to promote themselves and the show. The contest is being held to promote tourism in Thailand. The Sydney-based model arrived at Sydney International Airport this morning after the crowning ceremony in Thailand. Supporters in Australia were called on social media for Langi's fans to bring their banners and flowers to congratulate her at the Sydney International Airport. And that's the local news. Pacific is next.